Greetings and welcome to Play or Not to Play. As you can see from the recording, I'm going to be playing some Plague Incorporated. Um, Pretty topical. It's also the most recent game I have played so far. Um, it was made in 2012, and after release, it got a pretty popular reception, sold really well, has since been ported to the iPhone and to a couple other operating systems as far as I know. Sold something like 85 million copies worldwide. Um, it tends to sell really well in times like these when epidemics and disease are in the news cycle. Um, Graphically, this is pretty much it to the game. What you see is what you get. Um, Audibly, there's some tense background music, some beeping. Every now you'll hear a cough or something along those natures. You can zoom in, but why would you want to? Because you gotta click these things, and if you're zoomed in, when they pop up, you can't see them everywhere in the world. I gotta work on my spread. So I'm not keeping everything exactly like COVID is because I want to actually win the game. And to do so, there are some fairly simple patterns you can do. The key to winning the game is infecting Greenland. They tend to be the hardest country to infect because no land travel, no air travel in this game to Greenland, just a port. So the only thing then left, if your audio and your visual is as basic as this gets, is the gameplay, really. Because as far as story goes, you're a virus trying to infect the world. Now, there are a few different scenarios to play. There's a Planet of the Apes scenario, there's a zombie scenario you can do, vampires, or not necessarily scenarios, but you can use all those as vectors of your disease. There are scenarios that have to do with global warming or an ice age, or I think they're working on an anti-vaxxer scenario. Things of that nature to stretch out the gameplay a bit. And when you click these bubbles, which is the main gameplay feature, and you can pause at any time if like 5 or 6 of them pop up by hitting spacebar. You get DNA by clicking the bubbles. And so what I want to do, because I'm a virus, I get random mutations, so I don't really worry about symptoms so much as I worry about transmission. It does make the game a little easier to play. Viruses spread fairly quickly, and you can abuse the game engine, as it were, by going for spreading and letting the virus itself pick up the other mutations. Now, there's already people dead, which isn't good, because the more people die, the more the world worries about trying to cure it. But what are you gonna do? I don't really want to, because I can spend some of my symptoms. Like if I don't like this, I can devolve it for a cost, but I don't really want to at the moment. Not too many people are dying. Oh yeah, that's right. This is what I want to do. I want to start working on resistance because I want to get ahead of drug development. Right, so the pattern to winning this game is pretty simple. Get your disease as infectious as possible, get it everywhere it can get, and then pump up the kill rate. And Korea started to work on a cure, but hopefully I can stay ahead of it as things progress. So these are like the anti-cure stuff. And what I really want to happen is for a boat to go with infected people. Ooh. Huh. So you get little bits of news like that that kind of make it seem like real life, but they're nice touches. You know, they make the game a bit more enjoyable to play. Right. So infect everyone you can, and then once the majority of the world population is infected, you know, we got several billion people on the planet. That's how much the game has. That's how many are infected, and that's how many are dead. Once the majority of the world is infected, you can start ramping up the deaths, and it'll break down order, and people won't be developing a cure as much. Now, if you're playing to win, you're gonna follow the general form. Yep, there's Greenland. Thank God. Now I just gotta get Iceland. Thank God they're infected. That's a bit cold. Playing this game really has mixed feelings for me generally, because I kind of hate the concept that everyone could get wiped out by a plague like this. I think it's something a lot more people worry about today than they have in the past, because of how interconnected things seem to be in the modern era. Even with this greatly reduced number of stuff sailing and flying around, it's still, I gotta do something. I gotta make sure that Iceland gets infected or all is lost. Because if Iceland doesn't go, then game's pretty much done for. And you know, it's a little bit random. You can't really control where stuff is going. You can increase odds that tropical nations will get it, or nations in colder regions will get it, but you can't really force. So there's Iceland. So I think I'm golden now. Madagascar might give me some trouble. But I'm gonna work on stopping cures more than I'm gonna work on infecting Madagascar. So, other things to note about this game, and it's pretty basic. It's pretty fun, but it's pretty basic. Sales of it always spike when there's a pandemic or swine flu, MARS, SARS, COVID, which has probably helped contribute to the 85 million in sales it's gotten. It's remained consistent because it's got a simple gameplay that everyone can relate to. Everyone's had a cold or a flu or something of that nature and felt pretty bad. And while the scenarios do give it some more replayability, despite the fact I've owned it for years, I only have like 7 or 8 hours played. It's the kind of game that I appreciate being able to come back to at moments like this. But, alright, I need to spread. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. I need to spread through. Oh, well, That's what I'm going for next. I need to spread through Africa. There we go. And as a simulation, it's only partially effective. I mean, at this stage, everyone would be in complete panic. I don't know that people would be working on cures as such. I mean, everyone would probably want to push for it, and there's so many dead that, yeah, maybe the people were left. But, I mean, just all those... The Spanish flu was tough, and only really got a pass because everyone was geared up for war and propaganda quashed it. It's only called the Spanish flu because Spain wasn't involved in World War One in any meaningful way, and the press there wasn't censored, so they could report on all the cases. That's your history lesson for the day. Would I recommend it? If it's on sale, probably. I don't think I'd pay. I think it's $15 now. I don't think I'd pay a full $15 for it at the moment. It's banned in China, but that's not really a surprise. It's only banned recently, though. They're a bit touchy about the infectious subject, I suppose. But it can be a little bit depressing to play. And I didn't even put anything because I'm a virus, it just mutated to kill everyone. In real life, we haven't yet had a disease quite like this. I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid. I might as well just... Actually, let me make sure. Yeah, everyone's infected, so... I'm just gonna finish this up with some lethal symptoms. End the game. But if you follow the general path that I followed, you'll win pretty much every game. Get some cold, get some water so you can get the islands, because once they close their ports, you're pretty much done. And then ramp up your infection rate while keeping your death rate low, and pray that a ship goes to Greenland that's infected. See, this is depressing, but fun in a weird way, but only like temporary fun. It's not like every day I could play this. I couldn't marathon this for hours and hours, which is why I say it's only really worth it to get when it's on sale. It is educational, I suppose. It spreads awareness in a way that other games might not. Once you finish, you can rewatch all your infections and see how quickly it took you to wipe out the world. So, like some of the things I was talking about, you know, bacterias, fungus, parasites, zombies, bioweapons, vampires, licensed Planet of the Apes, neural worms, and they get different upgrades you can get for them. And then there's some official scenarios that help spread out, like mad cow disease and science denying and more medical care for poorer nations, or less medical care for poorer nations, or locked borders, things like that. So it's got a little bit of replayability if that's your thing, much like games like Age of Empires have given me a love of history. This game has probably given some people a deep interest in biology and science, and maybe helped people choose those as paths for life further on. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it. It's a interesting little game, short game, but short. Keep your hands washed and stay healthy and have a great day.